Time to get the corn in. Can you see him? Way down there. There he is. They've been working this morning and I missed it. But there's a lot more corn to bring in too. Isn't that beautiful? Hello, my friends. I'm just jumping in here for a second to say hello and show you a little bit of what I've been working on just in the spare moments. I'm back home for a few days before I go back to West Virginia to sit at my mother's bedside and hold her hand and watch her breathe. And so these are hard days. And never have I felt so much the truth of what Kate Jackson, she's a friend of many of us, what she says about handcrafting. She says, get out of your head and into your hands. And isn't it the truth? If your head is full of too many emotions, and mine is just reeling from many things these last few days, and what I found myself desperately wanting to do when I was in West Virginia, I just wanted to get back to my sewing machine and start sewing random pieces of scraps together, which kind of feels like my tattered emotions right now, just scraps, and sewing them together to make something that is more coherent, more beautiful, more organized, kind of piecing the scraps together in a way I wish I could piece myself together. And hopefully over time, I will be pieced back together. So I've been working on this super scrappy quilt for a while now, just whenever I had a few minutes. And so I'll show you the footage of some of that before my mother's illness and now some of it since. Thank you for joining me. Now, I've been doing a lot of quilting over the last couple of years, just little quilting projects, and they're very fun. The latest one I'm doing now is an absolute scrappy. It is nothing but scraps, and there is no pattern to it. You just start sewing scraps together, and you kind of make a little piece, a little chunk of fabric scraps sewn together, and in a very random way. And then when it gets kind of big and awkward with long sides, you put it aside, iron it well, get out and start another one. And then after that, you start sewing these panels together. And eventually you get something big enough to work with. That's what I've been doing. Let's look and see. Now you will recognize so many of these fabrics because these are all the scraps I always use. A lot of batiks. I do try just to note what I'm doing so I don't put things that are going to stand out like this all together. You do want to tie things together, put a pink up there and a pink down here. And that helps. Orange down here, orange over there. Now, this was several pieces I sewed together, and I think it turned out rather well. Totally random. And even its edge is still very wonky, but we'll clean that up as we sew on more. Now, here's a smaller piece. I mean, things as teeny as that, and things as big as these. So I really like that effect. And so I'm going to probably be putting that up there. You're looking for things to tie together like this and this. Here's some green here and some green down there. This is really fun. You can sit down and do just a little bit of scrap for 15 minutes, or you can sit down for an hour and get something more substantial done. There's the next little square. Fun, quirky, random, very beautiful. And then when you iron it up, it just looks so good when you get it pressed. You do have to press all those little seams in there. But for some reason, I don't mind doing that when it's this. I don't like ironing clothing, but I don't mind ironing this. Okay, one more block. So here's my first big panel that I joined. I think that's like 3 or 4 that I joined together. And then this is 2 big ones I joined together here. And you see it's a little bit longer than this one, so I'm going to add some more to the bottom of this one. But that's still not long enough. I'll need that to be a good bit longer. And then here's 3 small ones. I may sew them together. Here's the one we just did. And have them in a nice long panel and maybe join them up to this. But I just love how that looks. And even if you just tuck them close together, you can begin to see what it's going to look like. I have some big pieces like up there. Whoop, I just lost one over here. I love the pops of red. Lots of blue right there. Okay, making some progress. It may not look like much. Let me get my Kleenex out of the way. But this is one good size panel. I think I've shown you this before. Well, it's probably bigger now. All kinds of random pieces. I love that green splash in there. Got a little sunflower. There's a lot of blue. Here's another panel that I'm going to attach. But it really all needs to be longer. And so right now I'm working on a panel to put here. Let me show that to you. All right, over here by the sewing machine. So I've been working on this panel. You can see how I did this bit and it was longer, so I went back in and added this, which I think I had sewn that little strip of pieces when I was doing that crazy scrappy skirt. Do y'all remember that? Anyway, now I just need to add a little bit more, another little panel here, which I've started working on. Just, sewing pieces together like that. And then adding to it. Always keep it in mind, I'm trying to keep generally the same length, which I didn't do that time. I'm thinking about doing some more free motion quilting on this to kind of soften all of the many, many angles. Look at that little teeny piece. Isn't he cute? So I'm going to keep on making this long enough. I really only have about this much more to go before it will fit here. And then I just will have a little piece here, and then I think I'm going to be done. I'll put it all together, and we'll start on the quilt sandwich. And when I am placing patches against patches, so I could put it this way. Don't really like, these are so similar, so I kind of don't want them here. I do want the pink in the middle there. That's nice. This is nice. So I'm thinking about turning this the other way. Let's see what it does. But look what I get. I get these two next to each other that are the same fabric. So I think I'm going to have to do it this way. And I like the pink in the middle anyway. So, yeah, we'll do it that way. Well, I think I've done all this piecing that I'm going to do. Now, what size is this? Looks like it's about 20 inches by maybe 25 inches. Not a very big tummy time mat, but what I've realized from talking to the girls that I've given these to in the family is that what they love about it is that it is stiff. It doesn't curl, it doesn't bunch. The baby can't grab it and bring it in like a blanket, like a baby blanket. And so it holds its own because of the quilt sandwich and the nice binding. So I think this size is just fine for a little baby who is probably only newborn to say 4 months, 5 months before they start turning over and you can't trust them anymore. Well, I'm really liking it. It's wonky and fun. So I hope you've enjoyed this so far, and I'll keep you apprised of how this project goes. Thank you for sharing this little video with me, and I'll be back. I don't know when I'll be back with you. It'll just all depend on what happens in the family, but I hope that I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.